Dookie dookie. Kim police. Wow, actually a game that doesn't have motion blur. Go.
I ran out to get a pack of cigarettes, but I left my wallet at home. Yeah, that's me. I'm getting old. My name is Sonny Featherland, an investigator for 20 years, and once the star of the predatory division of the Clawville Police Department, one half of the legendary Chicken Police. But buying a pack of smokes is more than I can handle right now. Maybe I should just lay low. Yeah, I'll do that. The most colorful place in the wilderness. For all the gods, what bullshit. The last clucking color left this city years ago. And slowly I'll turn gray too. Still, what do I expect? We're living in a vast experiment and don't even notice that everything got clucked up a long time ago. We believe in this wonderland of peaceful coexistence. Wolves and sheep, chickens and hounds. Yeah, sure, why not? It's just ridiculous. The dog eats the chicken. It's in our nature. I'm not propping up the illusion anymore. 121 days, and it's over. Retirement. What could possibly go wrong? Crap. My office lock is a piece of shit if a dame can pick it. She stood in the darkness. The light painted stripes on her body. It whispered secret little things that were never there in the first place. But she was no zebra. Reality was just a light switch away. Elizabeth or Charlotte? I was sure she'd have a sophisticated sounding name. She had a bygone look in her eyes, older than this ancient building, and perhaps the whole city itself. Or maybe I'm just drunk. But she was the first womanly thing in my place for a long time, so I had to give her a chance. I don't even know what these papers are. Every whiskey has the same color nowadays, at least in this price range. I promised myself I'd write a novel one day.
One day, huh?
Books I'm never gonna read. Maybe nobody ever has. I don't even know where the key is. Whatever's inside is gonna stay there forever. The Wild Gentlemen. Those guys rebuilt the city after the Great Fire of 867. My heroes when I was a little chick. I'm starting to think they should have left Clawville as it was, burned to the ground. We used to be star cops a few years ago. Tabloid press, radio interviews, and even a book series. I don't miss those days. Of course, Marty, my old partner, would disagree. He just loved the spotlight. This is one of the most beautiful memories from my old life, before Molly left me and took our daughter. The good things in life don't last long. The best ones always leave first. I saw that in the window of a shoe store. I never understood it, or what it had to do with shoes. M.B. Davis, the eternal king of jazz. The photo is from the days of jazz prohibition. I only heard the old man live one time, but I'll never forget that night. And not only because I woke up at the harbor without my gun, my badge, and my pants. I wanted to travel the world when I was a kid, but I think I'm going to end up dead in here whether I like it or not.
Secure things.
My wallet and my badge. The wallet is real, the badge ain't. Chief Bloodboil took mine, so I got this one out of a pack of cornflakes, just in case. My last cigarette. You're lucky I don't have a light, pal. She doesn't seem so dangerous that I need to grab my gun, but you never know.
Yes.
I don't see colors anymore. Only emptiness. Everything faded. I need another drink. Murky brown swill. I should improve my standards. Who is this dame, anyway? And what the cluck is she doing in my apartment on New Year's Eve? Behind that door lies the kingdom of dirty clothes, cigarette butts, and empty bottles.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Deborah, Miss Deborah Ibanez.
You're mistaken, ma'am.
Oh, really? Really? Please enlighten me, Mr. Featherland.
I'm not a private eye. I'd recommend Mr. Philmar Lowe instead of me. He's a nice guy.
Believe me, Mr. Featherland, it's not an accident I came to you.
Look, miss, I work for the police, and I'm currently on leave. I couldn't accept private commissions even if I wanted to. Not even from a classy dame like you.
Am I that easy to read?
That's my job. But tell me, since you've invited yourself in, would you like a drink?
I don't usually drink.
Well, I've got to have one, and it'd be rude of me to drink alone. So, maybe some sherry?
If you insist. But bourbon, please.
Thank the wild ones. That's all I have.
What a coincidence.
So come on, spill it from the beginning.
The notebook. Notebook is the detective's best friend. Here you gather vital information about the case, the suspects or victims, and the location you will visit. How does it work? Click on any text or picture in your notebook to read and translate the version in your language. Stands for an employer, a sophisticated lady, but I don't think she's from a particularly wealthy or influential family. The inventory. Here you will store all essential items throughout the case.
Ironic, but ever since I've been on furlough, with only my fake badge sitting in my cabinet, I feel more like a cop than I ever had before. More like a Clawville cop, anyway. I haven't dusted you off in a while, partner. Looks like I may be needing you now. Oh man, I totally get you. That's better. Now, if I understand correctly, your mistress is receiving threats. What kind of threats, exactly?
It's a very strange matter. First, there were letters. Then it came printed on a wine bottle's label, sent as a gift. Then carved into a brick, thrown through the window. And finally, they painted it on the wall of the house in giant red letters.
I think it's time to dig a little deeper. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask you some routine questions.
Please, that's why I'm here.
Victim, a lady, struggles and strange threats. All of them are written. Subject John Doe. This father is for suspicion. Need to consider that. Focus suspicious. Okay, suspicious. Okay. suspicious? I am suspicious? Why are you suspicious? Got the impression from the suspect. Every impression has a request. Okay. Take the meet is your best friend. It shows how well the question is going. Keep it on the positive side, okay? Blah 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 blah. I like that.
I must be cautious and smart. This dame seems shy, which I can use to my advantage. But I must be careful about what I say to her, or I could scare her off. Let's start gently, and when the time comes, we can go in hard.
Who exactly are you, ma'am?
Who exactly are you, ma'am?
I'm not somebody important, Mr. Featherland.
You're important enough to deal with such a delicate matter, right?
I carry out the wishes of my employer, nothing more. This means simple paperwork, most of the time.
You've been thrown into deep water, sweetheart. Tell me, can you even swim?
Believe me, this is just as unpleasant for me as it is for you, if not even more.
Must be cautious and smart. This Dane seems shy, which I can use to my advantage, but I must be careful about what I say to her, or I could scare her off. Let's start gently. When the time comes, we go in hard. Tell me, which part of the city do you live in? Calavera Hills, Flowerville?
Tell me, which part of the city do you live in? Calavera Hills? Flowerville, maybe?
Look, I don't want to answer that. I'm here on behalf of my employer, and not on personal business.
Fair point, Deborah. Let's try a different approach.
So what did you have to visit me on this particular evening?
Why did you have to visit me this particular evening?
I have my reasons. I may look like a silly little fawn, and maybe I am, but I still have common sense.
I don't doubt that for a second, Miss Ibanez.
This day is essential to my mistress, and she thought it's also important to you.
A message in itself, for sure. But to be honest, even you are.
You know what? I'll just take that as a compliment, even if it wasn't meant as such.
Well, that doesn't matter. When you come to visit me, why not you employ yourself?
Why did you come to visit me? Why not your employer herself?
My employer is Miss Natasha Katsenko. She hasn't been leaving her home lately, only if she really has to.
How so?
Miss Natasha is afraid. She's scared because of those unwanted messages. and everyone knows who she is.
So she's that kind of woman.
I don't know what you mean.
Of course you do, Deborah. Thank you, by the way. We're finally getting somewhere. We avoided the point long enough. Deborah's hiding something, no question. Let's focus on that.
No. Yes. Yes. Let's see what she wants from us then, because we're not a private detective, so... Well, what do you want from me then?
What do you want from me?
Me?
Oh, don't be silly, Deborah. I mean your employer. I was just talking to myself, out loud.
Well, Miss Katsenko thinks you're a great detective, and you're also reliable. That's why I came.
Did she also give you the lockpick?
Please, could you let this go? I'm really embarrassed.
Sorry, sweetheart, I'm just teasing you. As soon as I saw you, you were forgiven.
That's very nice of you.
It has nothing to do with being nice, Deborah, but you're welcome.
What the heck does that one have to do with it? Yep. Mission, that's what we're supposed to... Don't you think this whole thing is a little suspicious?
Don't you think this whole thing is a little suspicious?
Look, Santino, I'll explain everything.
I have no doubt about that. You look just the type, sweetheart. No offense.
I'll take that as a compliment. Or maybe I'll act like I haven't heard it.
You see, we're starting to understand each other.
What's the point of all this? Tell me, Deborah, why should I believe you? We're not gonna focus on her, so it's hiding something. Let's go with this one, why we should believe her.
Tell me, Deborah, why should I believe you at all?
Because my mistress trusts you.
Should that be enough?
If you really like what she thinks you are, then yes.
Damn, what can I say to that?
Look, I didn't mean to back you up against the wall.
You have a way with words, sweetheart. Did you ever want to be a cop?
No, not for the world.
Smart answer.
Okay, be honest and tell me what you're so afraid of.
Be honest and tell me what you're so afraid of.
You know, Mr. Featherland, my mistress's partner is Hobart Wessler. Or as most people know him,
Ibn Wessler, the Kingpin.
Exactly.
Feathery gods, help me.
So you get it now. The secrecy.
To put it mildly, I think I understand it all. Wessler. This little piece of the puzzle changes everything.
Ooh. Nice. It was pretty much just one there. It was like pretty much 50-50, I would say. Didn't pick the right one. On the force, perfect job, exactly how you would have done 10 years ago. Beware, Cloville, Sonny Featherland, and the Chicago police are back in action. Or include the employee and Natasha's current significant other is the infamous gangster, even best. That's pretty cool that you can retry though. The mysterious Miss Deborah Ibanez's employee is a certain Miss Natasha Katchenko. The employee and Natasha's current significant other is the infamous gangster Ivan Wessler. Fred is the secretive, or she's just secretive and an outstanding actress. In the case, not everything she told me is true, I'm pretty sure about that. The employer currently bosses the ranks of Ivan Wessler, to put it mildly. This explains the cloud of fear surrounding Miss Ibanez. Okay. Natasha Katchenko, huh? She's the employer of Miss Deborah Ibanez. Allegedly, she's receiving serious threats. Currently the girlfriend of the notorious gangster Ivan Wessler. This explains a lot of things, mainly the excessive secrecy. Hobart Ivan Wessler. Of course he's a rat, huh? One of the most well-known gangsters of Cloville. A real estate mogul, bank director, museum owner, distiller, smuggler, and an information broker. That's only half of what I've heard about him. He has his dirty little paws everywhere in this his underworld.
I can't even remember the... Why don't you take it to the police? Just go there and file a report. Photos, flashing lights, fingerprints. You know the drill. The evidence is very clear. Even a moderately talented detective could easily wrap this case up. Or just try the phone. 555-111.
Please, take a look at this.
Well, okay. Let's see.
I know Molly very well. Please note this when deciding whether or not to accept my assignment. Miss Ibanez is a trusted friend. Treat her as gentleman. N.
I felt like I'd been hit on the back of my head with a blackjack. Reality tilted. Molly. Good gods. What was her name doing there? I glanced at the opposite wall with the well-worn picture frames. Like an eternally dark hole in the wall. A missing piece. She was wearing a light silk dress and singing a lullaby. The waves caressing her beautiful long legs. Why Molly? Why now?
Mr. Featherland? Santino, are you all right?
What the hell is this supposed to mean?
I don't know anything, Mr. Santino. My mistress told me to give this to you. She said you'd understand. Don't you?
Oh, of course I understand, Miss Ibanez. I get it very well. But this case is becoming more and more confusing. It's starting to look like blackmail.
Blackmail?
Don't play innocent with me.
But...
All right. When can I visit?
Visit? Me?
Not you, Miss Katsenko.
Oh, yes. You can find her at the Tsar Club.
Didn't you tell me she's not the social kind? That she's especially unsociable? Or does she only like loud and crowded clubs?
No, she's really not like that. But she owns the place.
Judging by the flyer, it must be a very busy club, especially on New Year's Eve, right?
I'm sure you'll have no trouble finding Miss Katsenko, but there's one small problem, Mr. Featherland.
Let me guess. Mr. Wessler better not know about my visit.
Exactly. How did you know?
20 years experience, ma'am. Oh, and please, call me Sonny.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Sonny.
I'll talk about the rest with Ms. Katsenko in person. A good friend of mine would be happy to take you home if you'd like.
I'd appreciate that, Sonny.
Okay. We'll find Natasha at the Tsar Club. Natasha must know my wife Molly from somewhere. Perhaps she has very good informants. I must find out what the connection is. Okay. Louis E. Hayworth. Louis is the owner of the once reputable Atlas Hotel and a good old friend of mine. At the moment, he's my landlord. Only the two of us living in this unbelievably enormous hotel. He's crazy about detective stories and he gladly helps me whenever I ask him. 555-932. We need to call him then, I guess, with the phone. Tsar Club, one of the most famous nightclubs in the city. Owners of the juiciest booties and hardest fits frequent the place. And it's famous for not serving cops except if they are knee deep in the dirt.
Maybe I'm really gonna write that novel.
Okay, wait, what was the 555-932.
Hey, Louis. Am I bothering you?
No. Of course not, Sonny. Old friend, what's up?
Could you come over? I've got a favor to ask if you're not busy.
For you, anything. Just a minute.
Louis arrived a few minutes later. He lived in the rooms above, so it wasn't difficult getting here. Not to mention that he's a rabbit. It was a quick hop. The Atlas Hotel was his inheritance. It was once a well-renowned place, but not anymore. The last economic crisis ruined it. And now, besides me, he will be resident of this enormous place. The good old rabbit. I can always count on him, even on New Year's Eve. Thanks for being so quick, Lewis. Can you drive Miss Ibanez home? I have some things to take care of.
Of course, Sonny. You know, anything for you.
Thank you for being so considerate, Sonny. I appreciate it.
Don't mention it.
Goodbye, then.
To the loser.
So long, Deborah. Before I visit the club, I have to take a detour. I've got a feeling that this case isn't going to be a one-man job. And there's only one bird in the city I can trust. My ex-partner, Marty. He's going to be at the station. I can only hope he'll be willing to talk to me.
HQ of the department, aka the meat grinder. Huge dark building for shady people. I don't necessarily mean those who are sitting in the jail. Main scenes move the story forward. These scenes also determine which location open up or close down. You need to complete all of these if you want to beat the game. Limited scenes. Limited scenes are open for a specific duration, which is determined by the main story progression. If you're a completionist, be sure to visit all of them before you move to the next main scene. Closed scenes. Closed scenes cannot be reached for the time being. The state will often change throughout the story progression and can be temporary or permanent. Top tip. Pick the next main scene if you're absolutely sure you don't want to visit any of the available limited scenes anymore. You may not be able to visit them later.
It was New Year's Eve, and I was driving, half drunk, risking my whole life's work. But still, it didn't feel any different. Every day was the same, and the 121 days I had left till my retirement seemed like an eternity. When I look out the window of the hotel room I call home, I see the same thing every day. A woman in a red nightgown dances slowly in circles to smooth music. The 9 o'clock show, with a glass of cheap bourbon and the red gown with the silent music. In the meantime, the proud city of Clawville is slowly eating itself alive. And we're still here, with nothing left to lose but our sanity, while others, the smart ones, had already gone. Molly. Does her name really upset me this much? All those years of solitude, and I still jump without question every time I hear it. And then there's Marty, my ex-partner, who hates me. But I know I have to speak with him, no matter what. Why do I feel like the past is watching me on this goddamn night?